Welcome back to another episode of Path 7. I just wanted to take some time just to kind of live more in my more carnal self. That's what I've been doing. Just putting the pieces back together, figuring out how everything's working and how well I've healed upon my path and how my path is dictated by, outside forces, but it's my ability to to move away from people and things and situations that no longer help me correlate with those versions of myself. So it's always good for me to always remember that life is created by the person who has the will or the vigor to go for something better. So as you're going for something better, you're trying to attain things that you can't see. It takes time of just realizing that you are the infinite and you're in alignment with the infinite. So the better you can remember that you're on that path to get to where you're trying to get to. Everything takes time, and there's no point of rushing it. Everything is as it's supposed to be, and what is supposed to be will always thrive for those who have, I guess, the alignment to go forward, and those who are trying to persevere for better days and better situations to come along with us. So, as in all things, just be patient with life and allow life to work for you. Because life, like I said earlier, I had a certain, I wouldn't call it an epiphany, more like a divine realization that how can I say it? I had a divine realization that how do you say it? That life is suffering, and if you can find peace in that suffering, then you can get to where you're trying to go to. But it's a certain thing where people don't take life as serious as I do, because they see that it's hard, because I have such a dubious and young spirit. I have a joyful spirit that most people can't invade it, and they can't put their reality or their strains upon themselves, upon me, and try to say this is what life is. Life isn't anything other than what you define it to be. So if you do the work to make yourself co-create with a better universe, the universe will get back to you, seeing that you're the one. I can't say the best beholder, but you're the person who's done the work to create a mind that is more conducive for the growth that we're going toward. So as in saying that, it takes a certain care, man. You have to treat life like it's your baby, like it's your child. It's something where you're allowing yourself to co-create with reality rather than, allowing someone to nurture your own soil. And as you're nurturing your own soil, you will create a reality that's fertile enough for you. And what people are doing now, they're taking your fertile land and spreading it amongst themselves so they can also plant within the place that you've put the work in for. And I tell people you can't do that, because you have to have your own, so you have to have your own space. You can't take a bigger being, sacrifice that being enough to the point where they forget that they're bigger than you and stronger than you and smarter than you, to the fact that them just thinking they're just an animal or some type of a beast that's just walking the street. And that's what's happening, because capitalism allows that, because consumerism is looking for the ability to get to places the easiest way without too much damage. And I'm saying no, go through the damage so you can accumulate skill points and you can grow yourself. Life is like almost like an RPG, but I would say I wouldn't look that deep into it, because life is supposed to be a joyful place. You're not supposed to ascend through suffering. You're supposed to ascend through what? Through happiness, joyful situations. So when you don't have a joyful situation, someone has hacked your reality and made it such, and you allowed certain subconscious triggers or certain things to keep you in spaces that you were supposed to let go of. So as you're learning to let go, you have to find places within yourself that you can find the creator. It takes a while. It doesn't take forever to find the creator. It's just, how well do you realize that the source that you're looking for is first within you, and then after realizing it's within you, how do you share it with people without losing your way to get home to it? How do you create that space and not lose that space upon a world that is cultivating from that space that you're trying to let go of? So it's a lot of like, how do I find myself within a world that is so devoid of the truth of what actually is, and everybody else is trying to do this thing where they're just floating outside their bodies, and like, it's such a thing when you're so grounded in yourself that you can see this, like, the thought forms that you've created finally alleviate themselves from you and find their own way back to source. So be patient with things, allow things to grow upon themselves, and don't try to tell God what you need. You have to be the person who just like, God, I'm here. Use me as best as you could, even if it's unfortunate situations. God, use me as best as you can, so I can find my way in a world that has no way, and I can create doors for other people to find themselves out of suffering. Because a lot of people are going the wrong way, but when people are going the wrong way, that's a beautiful thing. Because who says this? Whose compass is attuned to the heart that they can tell you it's the right or wrong way? In a world where nothing but sacrifice and in the lowest of animalistic spirits are controlling the world. Hard. So as in saying that, can you please allow God to get back in the driver's seat and take yourself out of that believing that you are the creator, and allow that to be what it's supposed to be? And it's one of those things, damn, I really think that I'm the creator. You don't think you're the creator. You are the the creation's best product, You are the creator's best creation. So just be patient with it. When you're not patient with it, you allow other people to dictate what you want out of life and the things that you're going to accept. So like I always tell people, keep raising the bar so you can get to places that you're ready to release. And the more you release, the better your situation will be, because it's a lot of people who are using your vessel as a ship for them to ascend through, and it's not supposed to be that way, but that is the way that they've designed life. So when you're on this ascension of not just going up, when you can co-create by yourself and you can get away from the people, because anytime you're around like any type of like 3D concepts, people are using culture and things like that as ways of identifying themselves. But I'm like, that same identification is going to be a prison for the things that you're not ready to let go of. And if you're not ready to let go of that, you're going to sit in something that you think is real, which is not. And that's the hardest thing to let people know. Like, everything you're experiencing isn't real. You're just in a chair somewhere and somebody is giving you stimulus and certain things that you're allowing to believe that you're reality. You think that you're this body, so you're identifying with the suffering that happens to this body on a day-to-day basis, which is its own problem. I would say folly, but folly just seems like somebody's like trying to get me to say folly. So it's interesting, man. Once you get back to serving self and creating from a certain sense of, wow, this is relative to the fact that I've been here before, and since I've been here before, I can overcome these things. And while I'm overcoming these things, I can help people along my way without giving too many pieces of myself. So it's a beautiful thing, but it's how much can you put into yourself to overcome the things that once plagued you. And as they're plaguing you, how well can you overcome those things, and how well can you identify with parts of yourself that only you can get to? Because if you can't reach those places, it's no point of trying to reach those heights, because no one else is going to go for them, because people are complacent. In a world that's complacent, what's that going to make the market? The market's going to become very stale, and then when the one person comes to paint a different way, everybody's going to go back to, oh, well, why do you gotta do something different? I don't like that color. It's too different. Oh, I don't like this. It's not what I'm comfortably used to. It's bringing me too much pain. It's bringing me too much chaos. But I'm like, and that statement itself, you allow things to stagnate you instead of like allowing that same person to send that spark to everybody else. So once that got old, you got comfortable with what was old and you didn't want to go into anything else. But people are going to want to take your journey and then share it amongst themselves and then take you out the driver's seat of being the hero to your own story. That's what makes life so important, and knowing that you're not here to suffer. Suffering has never been native to the human experience. It's only become native because people have allowed things to become complacent. So when somebody comes along, or when God sends a child back down to earth, it's just like, okay, I'm here to help everybody remember what they're supposed to do, and not the things that we complacently do by killing off the creatives. The creatives have to be able to create because that's their only way of getting back to source. If that's their only way of getting back to source, then what do you do?